Hi, this is James Eng, and today we have Ford.braly with Marcus and Millichap on the line to talk about Arbor Park. So, Ford, welcome aboard, and let's talk about a new deal that you have out, which we haven't seen many deals come out in the past couple weeks. So, maybe kick it off with a little bit about yourself and this deal that just came out.
Yeah, it's great to see your face, James. Appreciate you highlighting us, and yeah, certainly kind of an odd time, odd situation to bring a deal out. But the seller, he wanted to bring this out middle of March, and obviously COVID started hitting, and we were gonna hold off and kind of wait through for things to settle, and maybe try again in the summer. And we actually saw an opportunity based on how Fannie started changing around some of the escrows that people have to bring for the PITI and principals and insurance taxes and insurance that people are going to have to bring to the table for deals, and saw an opportunity here to actually sell this as a straight loan assumption to where a buyer would not have to bring this to the table, and saw it as an opportunity to kind of be the only game in town, the only deal in the market right now. So we launched it a couple days ago, and we've actually had a pretty good response so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's one other deal out there right now that is sort of actively being listed. So tell us about sort of where this deal is located, sort of purchase price, number of units, sort of get into some of the details here for us.
Yeah, totally. So the deal's located in Hurst, Texas. It's a great market, right, northeast of downtown Fort Worth. It's about 10, 12 minutes from downtown Fort Worth, where our office is, and it's about 10 or 12 minutes from DFW airport as well. So it's an advantageous location, and really solid tenant base as well, and solid demographics in this area. The price here is 6.4 million, and this is actually kind of readjusted, prior to what we were going to launch at pre-COVID and post-COVID. We understand the sellers, motivated to have someone come in and look at the deal. So we moved the cap rate up to a little bit more like a 6.63 cap, and trying to sell a little bit more yield going in day one here. So that's 82 a door, which is about 10K a door less than the deal we sold down the street, Tribeca Point, earlier this year. Similar loan assumption with Doherty as well. So similar playbook and a similar deal, but much higher cap rate on this property.
All right. So I guess anything in addition that you want to cover sort of at a high level on this deal?
Yeah, some of the bigger items out here. The current ownership has spent a ton of money on the property. He's spent over $1 million, like 13,000 a door. He's redone the roofs, their new TPO roofs. He's done a lot of hardy board siding, so that's all in great shape. The parking lot's been totally repaired. He's done signage. He's updated the office, and he's updated 66 of the 78 units. So someone's Capex budget here should be really, really minimal. He's done an excellent job, and he's done good work there. And another thing to highlight too is, and this kind of goes back to a little bit of why he wants to sell. He's self-managing it. It's his first multifamily property, and it's, as you can imagine, it's a lot of work for one guy to be self-managing a property, 78 units, a larger deal like this. So
Sure.
that is kind of one of the reasons too why he's selling, and we think there's upside there as well for someone to bring in a little bit more professional management.
Okay. So there's the location sort of just right off of, 183, close to the airport, close to downtown Fort Worth. You guys did, because we can't really be there in person, you guys did a virtual tour here. So let me see, I'm going to try to pull it up and then just have you sort of talk through some of this stuff. We might have some music in the background, but go ahead and maybe pretend we're walking the property and tell us a little bit about it as we watch the video here.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. Yeah, I think the music in the background sounds like a wedding video, but what we were just seeing was the office at the front, and that's actually a two-bedroom, two-bath unit.
Okay.
And there is a space that we'll see a little bit later in the video, right by the pool to move the office to. There's definitely room for a table, a desk and computers in there. So I would say it would be an opportune time to get that back onto the market and move the office over there. As you can see, some of the new hardy board they put in. Here's the office right here.
Okay.
Just recently updated. Really a a nice looking office, and it shows well. And it's right at the front, so it's in a good location. But I definitely think having one right by the pool as well would be advantageous.
So is this the model or is this the leasing office?
I think it's the leasing office. It
Okay.
plays a little bit like a model
Okay.
for kind of the kitchen, but yeah, they kind of use it both ways. And so this is an actual unit. This is a upgraded unit. This would rent for the 2-bedroom rent for $995, and the 1-bedroom would rent for $850. The difference between this and the premium, which he's done 3 premiums on the 2-bedroom units, would be a microwave and backsplash. But some of these upgraded units actually have backsplashes as well.
Okay. So on the upgraded units, have they done all the flooring and everything on these upgraded units, or is it, do you
So
know?
there's flooring in the wet areas, and then it's mainly kind of carpet throughout in the living room.
Okay.
And just real quick note on the laundry room here, these are all property owned. He completely redid the laundry rooms, and he specifically owns the washer dryers here.
We're getting
Here's
some
the
of the
storage.
maintenance room here.
Yeah, maintenance room, and then the next thing we see, this is where the office could be. I think there's plenty of room in there.
Is that a
Um,
one bed? Do you know? Is that a 1-bedroom unit?
I think it was always kind of a shop slash office,
Is
and
that it right there
yeah,
where we're seeing
that's
it?
it right there.
Okay. So you're thinking about leasing that 2-bed that the current leasing office is in and put everything else in that 1 bed. Okay.
Correct.
I gotcha.
Yeah, and that 1 bed, it's not really a 1 bed. It's not one of the 78 units. That's just a
It's
kind of a
just an extra office or yeah. And that's the laundry room right there in the back?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
Right there in the back is one of the laundry rooms, and here are the new TPO roofs.
Okay.
A lot of ACs that he's fixed on the roofs as well. Parking lot you can see is newly repaired, and he's done work to the pool, and I think it's really a clean asset.
Yeah, and it sort of sits so you can see both sides. So it's like, is it about 50-50 on both sides in terms of unit mix or?
Yeah, just about, just
Okay.
about. I think the side that has the office has a few more units.
And I love on the north side, there's like $1 million property just north of it.
I know there's always 8 Mercedes out there. Maybe I need to call that guy, see if he wants to buy it.
Let me see. So I think that's most of the video. Anything else on this video that you want to talk about, or is that pretty much it?
No, I
Anything
think that's
else?
pretty much it. I'd recommend people go look at that. It's on our website, silvamultifamily.com, and then we also had some Matterports done of the 3D tours of the bedrooms or the units, so people can go view those, and they can request those from me or Al Silva, and we're happy to send those over. And we are happy to meet people out here for tours, but we understand the situation and try to be adaptable and get these other virtual options out there as well.
Yeah, let me pop over. So you had I think let's see here. I lost it here. Let me see if I can get to this. So the Matterport here. Anything on this particular floor plan, or is this a classic or an upgraded?
This is an upgraded, so it's got the black appliances. It'll
Okay.
have the nicer cabinet pulls, updated, yeah, so the updated hardware in the kitchen, um, updated countertops.
So they've kept the
Uh,
flooring sort of the same, just carpet throughout, even on
Correct. I think
upgraded.
they've replaced a ton of hardware. And if you stop right here, that's where it's got individual hot water heaters as
Okay.
well in the units, and then hallway bath. Yeah, right there. And then yeah, the hallway bathroom, and then one of them's a master. It has the bathroom in the actual unit, and the other they're sizable bedrooms as well with good closet space too.
Okay. So that's just sort of your secondary bedroom, and then your master right here.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Let me pop over to the PowerPoint, and then so I give you a good idea, sort of what you're looking at. Sort of. So this is that building that potentially could be the leasing office you're saying, and just lease out the 2-bed that is currently potentially.
Correct.
Okay. Some interior shots. And then, all right, so you talked about the roof, individual HVAC, individual water heaters. Anything else in terms of big CapEx that these guys have done already?
Yeah, it's individually metered as well, which is nice but typical for something uh, this vintage. But redone the roofs, redone a ton of the hardy board on the entire exterior. About 350,000 on interior renovations. Um, there's little gutters and drainage exterior stuff like that. They spent some good money fixing, slightly out of date plumbing, remodeled the office, and a big one as well would be the parking lots and laundry rooms. So it's kind of a plug and play deal. There's not a large Capex budget to bring to the table here.
All right. So here's just sort of unit mix. So you said about 65% are two beds, and then you're seeing, I guess, close to $100, maybe $70 in on the upgrades compared to the classics. Is that about right on the twos?
Yeah, correct. So
Okay.
he's been systematically updating those, and yeah, back to it being mainly two bedrooms. I do think that's advantageous. Bel Air Elementary School is about a 3-minute walk
Okay.
from here, so they have a ton of kids on the property. I was out there during spring break, and there are a lot of kids running around. So it's a neat property and it's in a neat area. But they've been getting about 65, $70 on the two beds for those upgrades, for the typical upgrade, and then those premium units are getting a little bit extra on top of that. And just a note here, the property next door to this, Tribeca Point, their 2-bed, 2-bath that's upgraded as well, not the premium, but upgraded, is getting, right there, is
Okay.
getting about $105 higher for a 50 square foot larger floor plan.
Okay.
So I would expect, in a typical marketplace and expecting we kind of get back to normal, for you to be able to capture a lot of that upside. The Avery, another property about 4 or 5 blocks away, they're doing upgrades right now, and it's at $165 higher
Okay.
for their similar two beds. So there is good upside there.
All right. So Tribeca is just north of the property, and you're seeing $100 increase in rents. And then, Oasis, we also financed. You guys sold that property a couple years ago. And
Deals look
then
good on that
any of
one.
these other properties, Glen Rose or 1233 or Valley Oaks, is there any good one bed comps out there or any
Yeah,
other
the one
comps?
beds. The
Yeah.
one beds are about I think the 1233 or Valley Oaks. Sorry, their one beds are about $50 higher.
Okay.
Um, and then 1233 at Cavender, they're undergoing some upgrades right now, so we expect theirs to be. I think they're about 25 to $50 higher. I
Okay.
expect those to settle in. Glen Rose Park's a long-term owner that has not been upgrading the property, and I want to go back a second too and talk about the difference between the Tribeca units and these units is mainly, I think, just the flooring. Like if they've got carpet mainly
Yeah.
throughout, Tribeca will have flooring throughout, and I think
Just
that's one of the
hardwood,
main
like
difference.
yeah, like vinyl
Yeah,
flooring.
hardwood
Okay.
flooring throughout.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So it's essentially an apples to apples, like an upgraded unit being $105 more. It's not your basic unit that needs to be brought. 5K needs to be spent on it. You're talking about a pretty minimal amount of money to get it to that same level.
Okay. Okay. So pro forma, so you have your current NOI is about 424. You're looking at trying to take it to about 465. What are the main drivers on this sheet in terms of pro forma?
Yeah, I think when we were prepped to take this out middle of March, we had a little bit higher rent growth in there, just based on what we kind of just talked about. We pared that back just to be fair and reasonable during these times, and so I think we ended up raising the rents about $20 total on an 18-month preview.
Okay.
I would imagine any management company would tell you we could do better than that, but it's kind of a wait and see. But we thought that was a fair and conservative outlook. Also utility savings have not been done here. We had a quote from Save Water Co. that would cut about $25,000 off of the water bill here, and that was used with the actual water bill. So it's an in-depth quote, not just a rent roll quote. So we pared the RUBS income back a little bit to reflect that. But outside of that, we kept vacancy and other rental losses about the same. We widened the loss to lease a little bit. But most everything is in line here, and as far as expenses. And then another thing to note, his reserves and replacement costs are only $200 per door per year,
Okay.
and that's directly off the loan.
Perfect. So when we usually look at these deals, we underwrite them for new debt typically, but this one we just sort of shared some initial underwriting on how a lender would look at this deal. The current loan is about 4.1 at 5.119%. So if you take sort of T3 income, Management fee at 3%, 350, sort of G&A, payroll at 1100, T12 on utilities. In taxes, we brought up to about 85%. So your NOI is close to 412, just sort of looking historical basis, not making any changes on the water or anything like that. And it really gives you two options. I sort of broke it out just to make it easier because there's a lot of changes sort of on the Fannie side. In the first column, if you just do a straight loan assumption, they're on loan assumptions, they want you to replenish the existing tax insurance replacement reserve of the current owner, or at least put up 3 months of tax insurance and replacement reserve. So that's about $80,000 on this deal. And then if you did that, you could come back to the lender for a supplemental, let's say in 6, 12, 18 months. Most of the time they want you to own the deal for at least 12 months and then show that you've done an increase in net rental from where you took it. Whereas if you did a supplemental right now, which some people do on their acquisition, the supplementals right now are probably close to 6% on your interest rate. And then because of COVID-19, they're having any deal sort of under $6 million in loan amount, they're having you escrow 18 months of P&I, which is about 477,000, and then 12 months of tax insurance and replacement reserve, which is another 150,000. So essentially your whole supplemental would go towards the escrow, and you wouldn't, be able to get any, you would essentially be putting up, you probably might even be putting up more equity at close than you would if you did the loan assumption. So I think most people are just going to lean towards the loan assumption and then look at a supplemental probably a year from today after they close on this particular deal.
Yeah, and do you kind of have an idea that a buyer would, after, let's say, 12 to 18 months, and I think they have up to 3 years to do it, do you think they'd be able to pull out significantly more than 600K at that time?
Yeah, I mean, at the time, like if you come in, sort of execute the business plan, reset the utilities, improve the collections, then you could come back and maybe get, especially if interest rates come down a little bit and these interest reserves go away, then you might be able to come in and pull $1.5 million at that point.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I don't know, Ford, if we've set a call for offers. I know it's pretty early in the process, but maybe talk about call for offers date and how people can reach out to you to learn more about the deal.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, haven't set a call for offers day. We brought the deal out yesterday, but we expect it to be about 3 weeks. It'd be a typical marketing time frame for us, for the Silva team, and my information's down here. And you can also reach out to my partner Al Silva, who's going to be working on this as well. It's 817-932-6134 is his number. And you can always go to our team website, silvamultifamily.com. And if you reach out to us, we can do some virtual tour options. We've got map reports of all the different unit types and the leasing office, that virtual tour we watched too. So a couple options there as well.
All right. Thanks a lot, Ford.
All right. Thanks, James.